I wanted to share with you one of my original creations when I first started making paper flowers. And even at that time, I wanted to make layers of tissue papers to get the colors and to get the thickness of the petal that I wanted. And it's funny, I think I glued these together with a glue stick. And I definitely wanted the colors of purple and yellow together. So I think it's about time. I probably made this 15 years ago. I keep it on my nightstand just to remember my flower journey and how I've gotten to JoyBloomsNJ and creating my own paper. So this always reminds me of my roots, literally. So this paper I created recently was a yellow, purple tissue paper. I added some dye colors as well. So I just thought I might make a new version because that's looking pretty beat up at this point. I love unveiling paper. I just never know how it's going to look. So it's always a little exciting. And this I'm really excited about. This is what I'm talking about. Like, you can use pastels on crepe paper to get your colors, but there's something so beautiful. I can't wait to get cutting and see how this translates into some tulip petals. I just love the variation of colors. And don't get discouraged with the spottedness, because trust me, when we start smoothing out the paper and working the paper, they're going to be stunning petals. You'll be surprised. Yay! So the first step is to cut out the strips from the paper we created, and I like to use my Fiskars rotary cutter for that. This is the 45mm one, and I will put the link in the description. Once all your strips are cut, put them together and start cutting out piles of your petals. Grab about 5 pieces of the petal paper, put them in a pile, clip them together, and begin to cut out your petals. Now we want to give these petals a little life. So first I like to spray them with a little water and then use the fondant baking tools. I know I show you guys these tools all the time, but I have just come to rely on them so much. So first I like to go around the outside of the petal with the smaller side and just make sure that the edge has a nice finish. And then I go in with the larger side and just keep rubbing until all the wrinkles are out. Once you have all your petals finished, I want you to grab a piece of tissue paper that is about 1.5 inches wide by, say, 12 inches long. Fold it in half, and just start cutting really small strips. We're going to end up twisting these to help create our centers. So once you cut them, twist them as tight as you can. And then I'm going to use some of my black sand and some tacky glue. And first you're going to dip the twisted piece of tissue paper into the glue and then roll it around in the sand. And this will make a nice little tip for the center of your tulip. So keep going. You're going to need 6 of these in total. Now cut 6 pieces of yellow floral tape about 1.5 inches long. Grab one of your wires and twist one piece on top of the end, and then take the second piece of floral tape and twist it up the wire. So you're going to do this 3 times. So each of your wires has this yellow tip. You have all 3 wires covered with the yellow floral tape. Take a piece of green floral tape and tape them together. This is now your tulip stem. When they're all taped together, separate them slightly and take your needle nose pliers and bend each one out just a little bit. Now we're going to add those beautiful sand-tipped pieces that we created. I add them 2 at a time between the 2 yellow pieces that we bent out, and then I just tape over them. Once you've added all 6, the center of your flower is complete, so just tape down the rest of the stem. Each tulip has 6 petals, which I start attaching with a small amount of hot glue and attaching it at the base. Tulip petals are in 2 layers of 3, so I apply the first 3 petals almost in a triangle format. Then I go back and add the next 3 everywhere that the 2 petals below meet. So you're gluing right where the last 2 petals below intersect. Once all 6 petals are attached, put a small amount of hot glue on your floral tape and attach it and start to wind down your stem. Now take anything pencil-like, whether it be your fondant baking tool, your embossing tool, and just wind the very top of your petal around the edge of it, just for a little curl at the top of your petals. Okay, 1 done. I have 8 more to go. So I did find the same glittering paper that I used in my original tulips, and I love how it came out. So the first step in making the leaves is to cut that strip up into actual leaf-sized pieces. Even if your wire's a little crooked, put it in the middle of your leaf and cut. It'll still work out. Once you have them all cut out, bend it in half, and at the very bottom, recut it so that at the base of the leaf, paper is as close to the wire as you can. Then add some floral tape and wind it down the stem. Next, I like to use the fondant tool one more time. I go around the edge of the leaf. This is with a very light touch. And then if you want to just go over the entire leaf with the big size, really gives a very nice finish to your tulip leaf. I made about 2 to 3 leaves for each tulip. Now to attach them, we're just going to wrap some floral tape to go around it. But don't forget to do the little up and over trick. It really makes the joints to your leaves and your stem look very smooth. And again, when I add a new leaf, I cut the stem off from the old leaf so that my stem doesn't keep getting thicker. Now the same premise applies to when I get to the end of my stem. I don't want the wire to get thinner at the bottom. So sometimes I need to add an additional wire so that my stem stays the same size to the bottom. A nice way to finish the wire is to cut a clean edge. Then I take a piece of floral wire and bend it over the top and twist it on with my fingers. Then I grab a second piece of floral tape and twist up the stem, securing this first piece in place. This gives your stem a real clean finish that won't unwind. So here's our finished flower. Give it a little bend. Okay, so we finished the original tulips, and these are the remake. I love the color. I can't even describe what color it is, but I will say this. More than once when I was making the petals, I saw one on my desk and for a second thought it was a potato chip. So part of me wants to call this color potato chip. But I just really like them, and it definitely captured what I was trying to capture in my original tulips that I made probably at least 12 years ago. So I'm probably gonna hold on to these because they mean something to me. They remind me where I came from. These need a home. So I'm gonna throw this out to my viewers. My mission is always to spread the joy. So if you know someone who needs some joy, I'm gonna list these on my Etsy shop, and I promise you, they will be $1 plus shipping. There's 9 beautiful tulips here, and I will box them up in a floral gift box and ship them out for you. I'm offering that to you guys because that's our mission at JoyBlooms, is to spread the joy. One flower at a time, one petal at a time. I also have all my links listed below for my Amazon affiliate links. Doesn't cost you any extra money, but it helps me to keep this channel going. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you so much. Have a great day.